This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me! It's, time!
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Previously on It Was a Thing on TV. 157 episodes. It all comes down to this.
And Greg, say what the robot looks like, or who the robot looks like.
Oh, the robot looks like Awesemo from South Park. Oh, but look at
There's a robot!
There's Otto's robot. And he's looking at the soda machine.
Oh, this part's great!
Oh, he's using, like, telekinesis on the friggin'
That would be radio waves, remember?
Oh, radio waves! Okay.
Because he's a robot!
He's a robot.
Yeah, he's like sexing up the vending machine.
Meanwhile, the robot is getting his robot freak on with the drink dispenser.
Oh! He took Bo's pants down, and Lori Handler can now finally take the picture, and everyone's like, ha 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 ha. And that's the end of your movie.
Okay. You gotta have more.
We gotta have
You
more.
need more.
But how are you gonna have more?
To be continued, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh!
And now, the conclusion.
Episode 159. Submission 1734. High School USA, the 1984 spin-off Unsold Pilot. High School USA, the 1984 spin-off Unsold Pilot, aired on NBC on Saturday night, May 26th, 1984. Hey, this aired when I was literally 1 day old.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4!
I'm so glad that school is in. Now I can see my old classmates again. What the same as summer do. Doing things Mama told me to do. Wash your dishes, scrub the floor. I taught the little baby how to count to 4. Made the man to cut the grass. And that school is in at last.
School is in, oh yeah! School is in, oh yeah!
And I say now,
Oh yeah!
oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
Now vacation time has come to an end. Gotta get back to studies again. Make the grades so I can dance. I got school is in at last. School is in,
Oh yeah! School is in, oh yeah! School is in, oh yeah! School is in, oh yeah! School is in, oh yeah! School is in, oh yeah!
I can't get enough of that. I'm sorry. We had to play it again.
Yes, we did. You know what? If Excelsior High School had a school song, that would be it.
That would be it.
Because all sorts of WTFery goes on at Excelsior High School. Apparently, so much so that NBC said, hey, we want more of this.
We want more of this. People love this TV movie. We need more of it.
But did they love the TV movie, or did they love Michael J. Fox and Nancy McKeon and Todd Bridges and a robot?
And Tom Bullard.
Yeah,
And Tom Bullard.
they liked everybody who did not make an appearance in this pilot.
Well-
and there's a lot of people who didn't appear in this pilot, but also there's a lot of people who did appear in the pilot that appeared in the movie.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people who went on to reprise their roles. And then there was a bunch of people who didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what? We like last week, how we had 3 sort of reunions of old TV shows. Well, we've got 3 reunions this week too, albeit one of them is the same as last week. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Right now, let's just go over, because there's a lot to like the movie. There's a lot to take in. So we're just going to start with the cast roll call. Returning from the movie is Crystal Bernard and her,
I'm so happy she's back.
and her Texas drawl.
Yeah. But Mike, you were commenting about her hair. You liked her hair much better in this one.
Her hair, but also the one thing that really caught my eye was when she was wearing like a wedding dress or a fancy gown. We'll get into why she was wearing it later, but there was just something about her that caught my eye more than the movie itself.
If you know what you mean.
Move on.
Also returning is Crispin Glover as the slow-witted overalls guy,
Archie.
John Grease returns as Dirty Kurt. Ken Osmond returns as Baxter Franklin. And that's pretty much it for a return cast. I mean...
Wait. You forgot about Chucky.
Oh yeah, Chucky, the sort of jolly rotund fellow.
Yes.
Gosh, I just like the name of it's like the name of the actor escapes me.
Michael Zorek.
Thank you, Michael Zorek. But they are joined by some new characters and some new faces playing some old characters. We have Melody Anderson as a teacher,
who JJ has the hots for.
JJ isn't the only one with the hots for her.
Yeah.
JJ isn't the only one who has the hots for her. We will get to that.
Hey guys, wasn't Melody Anderson in a previous installment?
Rawr!
Manimal.
Did you both roar?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We roared in stereo, buddy.
No.
And then we have Beth Franklin, who is played not by Nancy McKeon, but by perennial that lady from That Thing, Anne-Marie Johnson.
Oh, don't say
The
that.
lovely
From that
Anne-Marie
thing.
Johnson.
She is hardly that woman from That Thing. She was on Card Sharks. She was on the Body Language pilot.
Did we mention that she was also in What's Happening Now?
Oh, absolutely.
And the final,
she was
and the final season of In Living Color?
Yeah, she is not that person from that show.
She was I'm just saying she was all over the place. She is what we call a known commodity. And quite a darling one, if I may say so myself. Although, Anne-Marie Johnson, Nancy McKeon, yeah. And speaking of, J.J. Manners is played this time by Ben Marley, who basically looks like dollar store Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, he is basically Dollar Tree Michael J. Fox.
Although he did have a really big role in the late 90s as Roger Chappie from the Earth to the Moon.
Oh, that's right, the Tom Hanks miniseries.
Yep.
I have that on Blu-ray. It's very good. There's many people who will mention frequently on this podcast who have been in From the Earth to the Moon. Even Bryan Cranston shows up in From the Earth to the Moon.
Walter White was in From the Earth to the Moon.
Oh no, no. Hal from Malcolm in the Middle was in From the Earth to the Moon.
No. Zordon from the 2017 Power Rangers movie.
Oh, that's right. If only Elizabeth Banks was in it, but that's another story.
That's for the Patreon podcast. It was a thing at the movies. And now we have Mr. Sirota, who is played by and Jerry Mathers as the Beaver.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, Beaver. I haven't seen Larry Mondello lately. You two have a fight?
Gee, Dad, I keep telling you. Larry died 7 years ago. He gagged on an apple, remember?
Oh, I thought that was Lumpy Rutherford.
Oh, no, Lumpy died when he jumped in front of that train.
I get confused. For a while there, I even thought you were killed in Vietnam, Beaver.
Not me, Dad.
Yeah, because he's working in the auto shop.
Yep. And he hates it.
He hates
He's absolutely miserable. He does not like his job.
No, he does not. Playing Principal Pete Kinney, Rick Nelson. You know.
In his last role.
Yeah, because he passed away a year later.
Yeah, he passed away about a year and a half later. Yep.
And playing Crazy Leo Bandini was not America's ass. Tom
Yeah,
Villard.
I know. This is dollar store Tom Villard here.
Yep, it was dollar store Tom Villard. Sam Slovic.
Who the hell is Sam Slovic?
I'll answer it. His only real major role on his IMDb was he played a character named Cassidy for 6 episodes on Fame.
That's it. That's the list.
That's the list. And playing Bo Middleton.
Not Anthony Edwards.
Not Anthony Edwards.
He was too busy with Lambda at this time.
Yeah, that's true. It was Tegan West. He was that guy from That Thing. Because, let's just say, he started out as Pete Pearson in the Wonder Woman TV show in 1979. And just kept popping up all over the place during the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
His last known role was as Brother Knox from, and I kid you not, Confessions of a Teenage Jesus Jerk.
What?
That I have to look at this movie. What is the
that cannot be a real movie.
It has absolutely an awkward 80s love story directed by Eric Stoltz. Okay.
What?
A teenage boy comes of age during the Reagan years, discovering that he really enjoys many pleasurable things his family and his religion frown upon. It's basically Rumspringa, the movie.
Hey, Sherry Belafonte was in it.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, from Spring of the movie, where's Most from Amish in the City when we need him?
Damn you, Greg.
But perhaps the most notable name was, well, basically everybody else, because Excelsior Union High School, big place, plenty of room for faculty and staff who looked very familiar. For example, Mrs. McCarthy is played by June Cleaver herself, Barbara Billingsley.
Oh, we have yet another Leave It to Beaver reunion. We had one in the movie, now we have one in the pilot.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Vice Principal Roman Ing is played by Henry Gibson, straight out of Laugh-In.
And to me, he's best known for playing Martin Short's boss, Mr. Wormwood, in Inner Space.
He's known for me as the spokesperson from the National Appeal for the Dead on the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, and also, he was in future installment, Erie, Indiana.
And next you have, well, we don't have Otto.
No, we don't have Otto or his robot in this.
So there's half the movie right there.
Yeah, the whole movie was built around Otto and his robot.
Yeah.
That quasi love affair they had in that movie.
Yeah, that was just, yeah.
What a heartbreaking scene when he almost kills him. But thankfully that robot lived.
He did. But, nope, instead we have Craig. A guy named Craig, played by a guy named David Nell.
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah,
he was in, he did mostly movies like Spring Break, Splash, Total Recall, and Turner and Hooch.
His big role, at least on TV, or maybe the show he appeared on most, was Mr. Sunshine in 1986, where he played Warren Leftwich. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Sunshine is on our list.
Yeah, the 1986 version. Not the later version with Matthew Perry.
And you want to talk about other projects that may or may not be on the list? Gidget's Summer Reunion.
The heck is Gidget's Summer Reunion?
I don't know, but I have to think that it sort of had to spawn the future entry.
The new
syndicated.
Gidget?
Yeah. And I would be right. Hey, it had Vince Van Patten in it. Leave it alone. And playing Mrs. Crosley, Harriet Nelson. Now, this is weird to me, because in the movie, Principal Pete notes to Mrs. Crosley that she was his teacher.
Yes.
Harriet Nelson's Ricky Nelson's mother.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, that's his real-life mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's actually maybe my favorite part in the whole show is when the two of them are talking and Mrs. Crosley says to Principal Kinney, "Who do you think I am, your mother?" Because Harriet Nelson is Ricky Nelson's mom. Oh, and by the way, there's our second reunion, sort of. Ozzie and Harriet.
Yeah, what a classic that was.
And we still have one more to go, and this one I did not see coming at all.
One of the plots of the High School USA pilot was sort of a homecoming float sort of thing. And Bo Middleton, because he's a rich bastard, has gotten a French guy to design the thing. And the French guy who designs the thing is played by Burt Ward.
Oh my God. That is some great acting from Burt Ward to do that French accent like that. To be a French snob.
To be a French snob playing opposite an American jackass.
Oh, by the way, this is not going to be the last time we'll be talking about Burt Ward on this podcast, because eventually we're going to do the Batman 66 window cameos.
Well, we did talk about Burt Ward not that long ago in Legends of the Superheroes.
That's true. This is the second time we've talked about Burt Ward.
And you want to talk about reunions? Okay, going back to the storyline about the homecoming float. The other guys, led by JJ, the non-Yeppy guys like us, led by JJ, make their own float. And who is on their float? A stripper.
But not just any stripper.
No. A perfect stripper. Played by Julie Newmar.
Yeah.
React.
That woman.
React.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. Do you think she thanked Wong Fu for the float?
Oh, jeez, no.
Okay, so there's another reunion. Burt Ward, Julie Newmar.
Your Batman reunion. We still have more classic TV actors coming.
Yep. And interestingly enough, you know who wrote this? And perhaps one of the great comedic writers of the 70s and 80s, Pat Proft.
Oh, yes, because we've already talked about Prof in previous installment, the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, I think we also talked about him in another episode, too, didn't we?
When Things Were Rotten, I believe.
The Red Fox Show.
That's right.
Needless to say, we've talked about him a few times.
Yeah.
And, of course, we all know Pat Proft wrote for the Naked Gun movies.
And Police Academy.
And we have to add Police Squad.
Oh, yeah. Police Squad. Police Academy. All the classics.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a frickin' genius here. But you put it all together, and, well, I went over the plots.
Wait. You forgot some people.
I forgot people?
Playing the coach in this show was Paul Peterson, who you might know best as the son on the Donna Reed Show. But he's done plenty of things besides the Donna Reed Show. There's actually two more that you missed. One, and I'm surprised you totally skipped this, playing the Superintendent McCarthy.
Yes!
Dick York!
Dick York!
Yeah!
They're number one!
Yeah. And then playing a character named Nadine.
Oh, I know. Joanne Willette.
Yes, Joanne Willette, who you best know as Connie Lubbock from Just the 10 of Us.
Yep.
So yeah, you missed a few key people there, but yeah, this is, again, maybe not as star-studded as the movie, but it had its fair share of quality actors and actresses.
Or future well-known actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the plot of this pilot.
The many plots of the pilot, because
yeah?
like the movie that spawned it, we are basically dealing with a melange of plots centering around the teachers, the students, and their parents.
It's a lot clearer than the movie, though.
Yeah, there's a lot more division.
Yeah, a lot
It's
more
not a
coherence.
spider's web. What happens is we start with Vice Principal Eng, played by Henry Gibson, walking around and basically scaring the ever-loving you-know-what out of everybody.
Well, Henry Gibson has that scary look to him.
He wasn't this scary and laughing, I tell you. He really wasn't.
Oh, there's Chucky.
He said, "You're too fat, lose 30 pounds."
Oh, and here's Archie, played by Crispin Glover.
And here is Bo, who apparently traded up for a Camaro.
A Camaro. And he's got one of those 80s cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And he double parks.
Yeah. I should probably let you guys know. The best way to enjoy this TV show is to forget the movie ever existed.
Yeah, pretty much. You basically have to treat the movie like the MASH to the TV show MASH. How the movie MASH has nothing to do with the TV show.
Yeah. This exists in a universe where everybody sort of forgives Bo for, well, losing to JJ in the big race of the movie, and Bo is dating Crystal Bernard's character.
Yeah, like I said in the movie, it makes more sense. Why isn't Bo going out with Crystal Bernard's character? And guess what? They must have listened to the people. Must have had the same complaints in 1983. Because look at that.
And hey, JJ got his car fixed, sort of.
Excelsior Beavers.
Good night, everybody. But it sort of reads like, and because this is probably due to Pat Proft writing it, it sort of reads like the High School USA movie if it were written by the Naked Gun people, which it was.
Really? I agree with you on that. That's a great comparison there.
Yeah, same.
Like, there's a lot of sight gags, lot of puns, but also it can be played straight. And speaking of playing it straight, here's Henry Gibson again, talking to Dollar General Michael J. Fox about his car. What about Bo's car? He's double parked. Probably in your spot.
Oh, look, there's a snow globe of Excelsior High School. Definitely not Tommy Westfall's snow globe, though.
No, it belongs to Ricky Nelson.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Ricky Nelson. And no surprise, he's still the cool principal. Well, maybe a little less cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Cool principal? Less cool principal?
Oh, yeah, it's Ricky Nelson.
Yeah.
He's a more relaxed looking principal.
He wasn't as cool as Tony Dow.
Not as cool as Tony Dow. But
no, Tony Dow was just trying to make friends.
Tony Dow was just trying to be a friend. Ricky Nelson, you know, you could jam on the guitar with.
Yeah. He wants to jam on the guitar with Melody Anderson. Hello!
Well, who doesn't?
And hey, I'll tell you something else. JJ also wants to jam on Melody Anderson.
Well, this is 1983. I'll just leave it at that.
She's a very lovely woman.
I'm sorry, this is 1984. I keep forgetting that this is now the pilot.
Not the movie.
Not the movie.
Not the movie.
Yeah.
Well, JJ volunteers to make a float, since she's the faculty advisor, because that's what you do. And now we have Principal Pete asking his teacher, Mrs. Crosley, who's really his mother.
Yes.
He doesn't know that, though.
We know that that's his mother in real life.
But the question he wants to know is, am I a boring person? She's not having any of that.
No.
It's like,
And again, the best line in the entire in the show, who do you think I am? Your mother? Look, you are.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. Brilliant writing there. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Did we not say that Pat Proft was a genius?
He is a genius. Oh, but
Whoa.
JJ shows Melody Anderson around. Oh, here's Bo.
Bo and his two yuppie friends here with their popped collars and their preppy sweaters. And here's JJ and his squad, and he's like, "You're really going to build a float? It's not going to be anything compared to my float." "Oh, yeah? Well, I beat your ass in that race. I can beat your ass at homecoming, too. Bring it on, son."
And so they do.
Yeah, now we just need to find a float. And he's like, "Where are we going to find a float, huh? How about auto shop? Not like Mr. Sorota's."
Oh my gosh, this is where really you see a lot of the police squad mentality we talked
and
about.
whatnot.
A lot of sight gags.
We have Dirty Kurt shaving, pool playing,
We have dollar store Tom Villard sleeping at the...
sleeping on the dolly. Somebody's working on their car, and they're about to, you can't see it, but dollar store Tom Villard is about to go flying.
And also, this entire time, the shop teacher, Jerry Mather's character, is not paying attention. He does not give a blank about it.
No, although Crispin Glover does end up setting off a quite impressive Rube Goldberg sort of thing.
Why is there a pool table in an auto shop?
Because Pat freaking Proft. That's why.
Because it's a 1980s classroom.
Yeah, they did
We
not.
don't need no auto shop class.
And he's not talking to Otto. He's talking to, I guess we'll just call him not Otto.
And now we have Chucky and Dirty Kurt trying to start this car.
And like I said, he's going flying.
He's gone frying. All right into Jerry Mather's table.
Ow. That looks like it hurt.
It did. Oh, but now JJ's giving the inspirational speech.
Sort of a rallying of the troops. He's got Chucky. He's got Dirty Kurt. He's got Dollar Store Tom Millard.
He's got Crispin Glover.
We about to do this. And then he starts floating. But it's only because of Crazy Lou.
Crazy Leo or whatever.
Crazy Leo.
Whatever his
switch.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Whoops.
We'll just call him Dollar Store Tom Villard.
Dollar Store Tom Villard.
Oh, look at that, Jerry Mathers.
And Mr. Sorota's crying. You got the teacher crying, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad they can't come up with a decent theme for it. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Oh, look at that.
And Mr. Ing watching his 80s style portable television when Bo shows up and says, "JJ can't win homecoming, not with his float. Besides, my grandfather founded the award that for whoever wins homecoming. It's only fitting that I get it, because I'm an entitled..."
More or less, yes.
Now, certainly you can make that happen. Well, and we're in detention, and guess who's officiating?
Ken Osmond's officiating.
Hi, Baxter Franklin. But is it me, or did he dye his hair since the pilot?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. It's a little darker.
Yeah. Meanwhile, here's the hot for somebody play hot for teacher. Am I right?
Yeah. Where's David Lee Roth when you need him?
Got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. He's hot for teacher.
Zippity, 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 zap!
And he's not the only one, because here's Principal Pete.
Oh.
He's got it bad. He's got it bad. He's got it bad. He's hot for teacher.
And now the auto shop guys are coming together to come up with a theme for their float. They can't come up with a theme for their float, though. So they come up with 3 separate themes, and JJ gets the idea to bring them all together. I know one of them involves stripper, a nude beach, but that's the only one I remember. Greg, do you know the other 2?
Oh, we'll just play the clip, I guess.
Well,
What happened? Oh, we had a little disagreement. Couldn't agree on a theme. So, we'll do them all. What? A 3-in-1 float. What, a Vietnam flashback with the Eiffel Tower and a nude beach? Well, it's original, and it kind of says auto shop. You gotta admit that, huh?
yeah, that would be a really good idea, except JJ just ran into teacher again. And, yeah, as she's doing laundry. And this is going to take a while because laundromats, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know he clearly wants to go and separate her clothes, separating her delicates from her non-delicates, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, wink.
And he does, if you'd believe that. And while he's hot for teacher, again, JJ rallies the troops. Meanwhile, you know who we haven't seen yet?
Who?
Beth Franklin.
Oh.
Hey, look, it's Beth Franklin and Nadine. And in this universe, they're besties. Try to find the story.
Oh, there's Vice Principal Ing again.
What kind of shenanigans is you planning, Vice Principal Ing? And here's Chucky again. What's Chucky up to, I wonder? Meanwhile, Chucky shows up. They found themselves a car.
They didn't steal from Bob Denver again.
No, they're not gonna do that again. That would just be bad.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Bo and his prep squad roll up in their Camaro and talk all the junk. Here's Dirty Kurt with the car, which, you know what? It runs. So, hey, good job.
Good job, Dirty Kurt.
Yeah. Next, we see the Camaro roll up to the Middleton Manor, and our Frenchman, played by Burt Ward, is talking about all of the designs. And his name is Francois, by the way.
And they're all eating ice cream.
I sense Chekhov's gun coming on, Greg. It's like, if you see somebody eating ice cream, chances are it's going to end up somewhere.
Oh, now Ricky Nelson's going to go up to Melody Anderson.
He really trying.
Yeah, no luck for him, though.
You know, she doesn't strike me as the kind of person who dates coworkers or students. JJ, I'm talking to you.
I'm waiting for these two to fight. You know that would happen in the TV series. That they both fall in love with Melody Anderson's character, and they get into a fist fight or something.
Yep. And here's Mrs. Crosley again.
Mom, why do you keep bothering me at work?
Oh.
All right, now the guys are getting their float ready, while Dirty Kurt is shaving, because Dirty Kurt is always shaving for some reason.
But remember,
Probably
didn't he
'cause
say...
he's 26.
Yeah, and he has kids.
And he has kids.
And somehow he's a sophomore. How does that happen? I don't know.
High school was the best 11 years of his life.
Yep.
Like Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused.
All right.
Meanwhile, Bo and Crystal Bernard, they're watching Burt Ward build that float.
No, they're not watching Burt Ward. Yep, they are watching Burt Ward build that float. We have competing float montages.
We're gonna have a montage. Montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Montage.
You know what this float needs?
What?
A robot.
Yeah.
Let's skip to lunch, shall we? So Glenn and JJ are about to have lunch together, except for one thing.
Oh, here's Melody Anderson.
Here's Melody Anderson again. And, of course, Principal Pete is having lunch with Mrs. Crosley. And the kind of relationship that a mother and son have. Am I right?
I've never seen a mother and her son sitting in a school cafeteria eating together. Sorry.
No. Wait, they're not mother and son, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break kayfabe. Sorry. Meanwhile, the rest of the auto shop guys show up.
Yeah.
They're a little grungy.
Even though grunge wasn't a thing yet in 1984.
Nope. But hey, the trophy's in the bag. Am I right?
Yeah, but look at the classy preppy kids. They're eating lobster.
They're
lobster thermidor for lunch. Who does that?
They've got bibs on.
Oh, that's just tacky,
man. They're so bougie,
right?
But man, Crystal Bernard's hair in this movie.
Oh gosh,
fire! Hey, did I mention that I love wings yet?
No, but I think you should because that's a point of reference.
Oh, but here's
Greg, our listeners love it. Continue saying it.
But here's this title card right here at the 26:34 mark.
Yeah, and it has Crystal Bernard taking a big old lick of her ice cream, and all I can think is, that looks really good.
She's really loving that ice cream.
She looks good, man. She looks good.
Wait. Yeah, she looks good.
She looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks good.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks good.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks good. Oh, it looks good.
Are we talking about the ice cream looks good or Crystal Burn? Never mind.
Yes. The correct answer is yes. So here we are, 5 hours to the parade, and the float is nowhere near done yet.
But JJ's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get Melody Anderson. And look at that, Mike. He has a pinball machine.
Time Zone. I love that tape.
Yeah, Time Zone. That's a classic.
From Bally in 1973. Yes, folks. I actually did research of that on IPDB. Yes, there's a
pinball database.
Yeah. Oh my God. JJ has a couch that folds into a bed.
Yep. You know what he also has? A big problem. Because somebody looks like they're about to steal their float.
Oh no. Oh no, here's the douche.
It's the douche squad! Run!
Douche squad!
Somebody do something!
Look at that.
Oh look, it's Crazy Leo. He's gonna do something. Oh my God, Crazy Leo's gonna do something.
Oh no, what's Dollar Store Tom Villard gonna do?
I don't know, but everybody's running after him now.
Oh, there's the float. He's like,
oh my God, they're reenacting the What's Happening opening credits, people.
And
Crazy Leo is enjoying it. He's enjoying it a little too.
And then JJ and Nanato are like, what?
What is that?
And there's Crispin
What's
Glover,
going on?
and everyone else is chasing after it.
And because we know that JJ's an excellent driver, instead of doing a 3-point turn or a nice U-turn, he's driving the car backwards.
Oh, so that's how Corey Haim learned it in License to Drive.
Yeah, you didn't know that. And float is still going. Did we mention that the float has no brakes? Because that's important. Also important, the town that these people live in, it has a park, and the park has a lake.
Oh, good. It has a lake.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Crazy Leo's going flying again.
Oh
Oh,
no! Are you saying they're going to go in the lake?
They're gonna go in the lake.
Oh,
he's in the lake.
oh, that's a one-stroke penalty. He's in the water. He's in the drink.
Oh, with the float.
Okay, so it's a nude beach, a war memorial, and the third one.
We played it earlier. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. Well, put it all together, and now it's a pile of junk. So what are they gonna do? No, it's perfect. That's the way we built it. It's not a pile of junk. We built it like this. But it turns out JJ let his friends down because he spent all this time chasing Melody Anderson, where he could have just been building a float. Now, there is a skeleton of an idea of this float. Now it's up to JJ to, I don't know, try and build a body around it or something.
Yeah, something like that. So now Archie and Chucky, they're at Bo's house.
Climbing up and over the fence, and oh my god, that is a Mardi Gras float right there.
I don't think that's necessarily a house. I would say it's more like a compound with that type of wall.
No, it's a manor. Compounds have dogs.
Oh no! They crashed into the greenhouse.
That has to hurt. Uh-oh. And they just got busted.
They're gonna drop them
Are
off.
they dropped off at the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, they dropped them off in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and they took Archie and Chucky's clothes.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Y'all are some terrible people.
Oh, but now, Mike, we're at the scene you were loving.
Oh, look how adorable Crystal Bernard is in her gown.
Yeah. Again, you have to pretend that Bo and Crystal Bernard are a couple, and that Beth and Nadine are besties. Looking to write a story.
And also, remember, they're trying to win the best float.
Oh, here's Dick York and Barbara Billingsley.
First time I think we've seen Dick York in this.
Yeah, and Barbara Billingsley.
Yep.
Oh,
no,
look
we
at
saw
that.
Barbara Billingsley earlier.
Okay. Oh, there's the balloon. Oh.
Uh-huh. Well, there was the balloon.
Yeah. There's Melody Anderson.
And there's Melody Anderson. And Dick York trying to get up in that action now. Everybody trying to get up in that action, man.
Oh, a salute to the American Grease Monkey.
That is awesome.
Oh.
That is incredibly awesome. Even the red, white, and blue guys are awesome.
Oh, here's Julie Newmar.
The stripper / hooker.
Yeah.
Oh, she just accepted the money. Yeah, she's a hooker.
So we're in the parade now, and, well, everybody's presenting their themed floats. We have the Shakespearean Drama Club. We have the Good Life Club, a.k.a. Bo and his cronies.
And there's Crystal Bernard on the float.
Yeah, the preppy float.
Trying to stay on said preppy float. Celebrating our heritage, the American Grease Monkey. Meanwhile, JJ is trying to hit on Melody Anderson again. You know what? Everything's just going according to plan, isn't it? JJ's getting up with the teacher. The float is coming along nicely. Something's gonna come and screw this up. What could possibly come along and screw this up, I wonder? How about a stripper on the car of the Grease Monkey float? And stop me if you've heard this one. Bo's going to Vice Principal Ing to basically be a rat. Ing goes to the superintendent to rat about the stripper on the float, calling her, quote, a degenerate woman. Bo's lapping this up. Guess who's on the float right now?
Barbara Billingsley.
His wife, the superintendent's wife.
And Dick York's like, what?
That's my wife!
That's my wife! You son of a...
Oh, boy.
And now Dr. Ing is pissed at Bo.
Oh.
Oh.
Miss Crosley's like, yeah, no.
Oh, look at that. Ricky Nelson, he bumps into Melody Anderson.
Well, that's his mother's doing. I mean, sorry, that's just Mrs. Crosley's doing.
Thanks, Mom.
Come on. Can't you see a mom's trying to help her son out?
Yeah.
And she's like, come on, what are you waiting for? An invitation? Kiss her!
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile,
Chucky and Crispin Glover are back in school wearing something.
yeah, they're choking each other out. They're running all over the place.
And Vice Principal Ing is trying to explain to the superintendent that his wife is not, in fact, a degenerate.
And then, oh, wait, what is this?
It's the stripper! In Mr. Ing's office! And Nadine just took a picture of everything! Y'all got your story, son! You see, you have a nice little cohesion of plots now. Oh, and by the way, Julie Newmar wants her 200.
Yeah.
Cash. American.
And oh no, look who's in his car!
Oh,
And look who's got a camera.
This just gets better and better. Hey, Nate.
This is getting worse and worse. Oh, here comes the marching band.
And here's to present the trophy, June Cleaver.
June Cleaver's here to present the trophy.
And the trophy goes to...
Bo and Anne Marie.
Oh, great.
But oh.
Nope. What's going on here? He just grabs the trophy like, this bloat has been disqualified.
Yeah, Bo. That's what happens when you call the superintendent's wife a degenerate.
Yep.
So JJ comes to the microphone and says, well, these folks are disqualified for this, so shouldn't the first place prize go to the second place float? Yeah, that's what should happen. And guess who is the second place float?
Yay. Auto shop. Auto shop. Auto shop.
And the crowd goes wild.
Because of course it does. Everybody loves an underdog. Little guy hits the big guy, it's audacity. Big guy hits the little guy, it's cruelty. And Bo, stop me if you've heard this one. Bo's got a sad face and he's putting Ray-Bans on said sad face. And that was High School USA. And you can see where there was sort of the nucleus of a good idea here. Especially building on the movie or the universe set in the movie. There was a nucleus of an idea.
I sort of got like Revenge of the Nerds vibes from it.
Yeah. But this was like way before Revenge of the... This was like...
same year.
Oh, like 6 months?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as I said, Anthony Edwards was in the Revenge of the Nerds movie at this time.
Yeah. And do you see where this failed? Because I saw where it could have succeeded.
Yeah, I kind of do. But I actually have in my research an article from the Spokane Chronicle the night this aired, thanks to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia. And there's sort of like a mini review of it, which I'll share.
High School USA was basically the prototype of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the previous episode. But here it is, from the Spokane Chronicle. High School USA, Saturday, NBC at 9 p.m. This 1-hour special is made as a pilot for a series based on last year's nostalgic presentation of the same name. And I think the network missed the boat by not picking it up. It's not great, but it does have a lot of special guest possibilities. It stars Rick Nelson as the school principal, Henry Gibson, Ben Morley, and Melody Anderson, and features appearances by Jerry Mavers, Barbara Billingsley, Paul Peterson, Burt Ward, Ken Osmond, and Harriet Nelson in a story that pits the auto shop losers against the preppies in a float building contest. Oh, and by the way, Mike, in the voiceover at the end of the pilot, what was on right after this?
A special called Those Wonderful TV Game Shows, hosted by Carl Reiner.
Get set for a laugh-filled hour as Steve Martin, Johnny Carson, and many more show you TV's funniest moments of the last 30 years on those wonderful TV game shows. Next. Later, you'll flip out for Saturday Night Live with host Flip Wilson and musical guest Stevie Nicks. Be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carl Reiner.
Oh, we miss you, Carl. But to think, as I mentioned, I was literally 1 day old when this aired. Who knows? Maybe my mom was watching this in the hospital. Who knows?
I know you probably were.
Now, one notable thing about the High School USA pilot I want to mention is there was one person that was considered for the pilot, but didn't accept the role. And it's somebody that we've mentioned previously on this podcast. A young comic from Minnesota who was making appearances on Saturday Night Live at this time by the name of Joel Hodgson.
Oh, yeah. A very good writer and actor himself.
Yes, the creator of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Now, at this time, he was a hot commodity in Hollywood, but he was fearing that he was turning into a showbiz person, and he contemplated quitting. And it was an incident with NBC and the head of the network, Brandon Tartikoff, in 1984 that finally led him to give up comedy for a time. Tartikoff's office contacted Joel and offered him the starring role in the High School USA pilot. They sent him the script for the pilot after reading it, and Hodgson turned the part down, telling Tartikoff's people that it wasn't funny. And the executives mistook Hodgson's complaints and thought it was a bargaining ploy. And their response was to offer the role to Joel again at triple the amount of money. And Hodgson was appalled that the executives could not understand that he would just turn a project down purely because he thought it was terrible, and that no amount of money was going to get him to change his stance. So he refused the offer and went back to Minneapolis and declared that he was quitting comedy.
Yeah, I remember this story.
So incidentally, a couple years later, as we know, Joel Hodgson came back to comedy thanks to a Minneapolis TV executive by the name of Jim Mallon to create a show for the UHF station KTMA, and that became Mystery Science
Theater 3000.
So yeah, if you really think about it, it's thanks to this pilot that we have Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It's pretty cool if you think about it.
Yeah, but in all honesty, I know Joel Hodgson, I'm guessing he was offered the role of JJ, but I can see why he turned it down. But in a sense, I don't think he would have been right for the role.
No, I mean, Michael J. Fox pretty much wrote the archetype, and we wouldn't get somebody who would, be able to roll with a role like that, of course, until, stop me if you've heard this one, 1988 and the Good Morning Miss Bliss pilot.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another episode.
One other thing I want to point out is, if this pilot had gotten picked up in 1984 for the 84-85 fall season, there's probably a good chance also that Crispin Glover would not have been considered for the role of George McFly in Back to the Future. since that would have been shooting in the middle of the 84-85 TV season. And as I mentioned in the previous episode, Michael J. Fox was not the original choice for Marty McFly because primarily Michael J. Fox would be busy at the time doing Family Ties, and he only got the role after Eric Stoltz was fired for being, well, so lousy in the role as Morty that they had to get Michael J. Fox in the movie. Well, what do we have to say about the High School USA 1984 pilot?
Well, the pilot and the movie from whence it came were both things on TV.
Yeah, that's right.
And I actually thought that the show was better than the movie.
I thought so too. I mean,
less plots, nice convergence at the end.
And it's more of an ensemble piece, whereas you definitely knew who the stars were in the movie, and they were basically trying to write to them rather than write to everybody.
Yeah, but I honestly thought, I'm kind of going to be the one guy that thought the movie was better. And you know what? I'm going to explain why in another edition of It Was a Thing on TV Haiku Corner.
Oh, no.
Play the music. Oh, listen to that music. It's very sweet, isn't it? We didn't
soothing.
We didn't have it last week, so figured it's time we make it up in this week.
Awesome.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Mike, are you ready?
Lay it on us.
Because I know you pay copious amounts of attention to what I say, Mike.
I got you, man. Hey, Greg, I got you, man.
Okay, here we go. High School USA pilot. What was Brandon missing here? Todd's magic robot.
Snaps all around, my friend. Snaps all around.
Snaps and claps. Nicely done.
2 snaps and a kiss.
It's 2 snaps, a twist, and a kiss.
Oh, that's right.
But hey, you know what else gets 2 snaps, a twist, and a kiss?
Our website, itwasathingontv.com.
Yep. All of the episodes are right there, all the mini-sodes, all the director's cut, the remasters, and of course, links to our good friends at Place to Be Nation, where we have the weekly drop as well as our limited series, Greg, Into the Spidey Movieverse. Where, we just talked about Spider-Man 2.
We just talked about Spider-Man 2, and in a few weeks we'll be talking about Spider-Man 3, and we'll be talking about that crazy dance Peter Parker did in Spider-Man 3. Get on up, come on, and grab your funky soul. Everybody, come on, grab your funky soul. Everybody.
And in the meantime, you can follow us on all social media at It Was a Thing on TV. We are available where all podcasts can be streamed. And we also have our own YouTube channel. So if you head up YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And when you're there, don't forget to hit the bell. So you can stay up to date on our latest installments. One of which is coming later this week, and it rounds out Pilot Month with some familiar characters, some familiar voices, a familiar story, but maybe just a little bit ahead of its time and maybe not as zany enough.
Yeah, but you'll find out all about that in our next installment of It Was a Thing on TV. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on Thursday. Wow!
Hi, Whitey.
Oh, hi, Beaver.
Boy, that Eddie Haskell, he really makes me mad.
Well, why don't you kill him?
Nah, I could go to jail. Besides, it's against the law.
But, Beaver, no one would have to know that you did it.
I don't know, Whitey. I don't even have a gun.
Come on, Beaver. What are you, chicken?
So that's the story, Wally. I can't hide it anymore. I'm gay and I'm proud of it.
Gee, Eddie, you better stop coming around here anymore.
I'm just worried about the boys, Ward. How do I tell the beaver that I'm running away to Tijuana with Fred Rutherford?
Just be honest with him, dear. That's all. When I was a young man, my mother was always straight with me. She used to say, Ward, you're boring. You're a very dull kid.
Mom? Dad?
Come on, Ward. Ward, come on.
Boy, Beaver, you're gonna get it.
Oh, my.
Beaver, I'm afraid you're going to have to explain yourself.
Gee, Dad, I hated him. Besides, he was always calling you a bum.
Beaver, after all I told you about taking the law into your own hands? June, call the police.
Boy, Dad.
Wally, he's just going to have to learn his lesson. Maybe 35 years in the slammer will teach the beaver something.
Boy, Wally, life stinks.
Yeah, but so do you, Beaver.
Yeah. Thanks, Wally.